hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel down here. So yeah, we're in the floor today. That's the vibe this week. So you know how like when you're scheduling things, it's like super far in the future and you kind of think that like that day's never gonna get here, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I scheduled 4 different like doctors, dentists, all of those things, appointments for this week, the week that I got back from my work trip. And so I'm exhausted. That was too many things for a week when I was trying to recover from travel. So yeah, we're in the floor at this point. It's Friday. I also am finishing up a certification course for work too. So I've had 2 days of classes, like 8 to 5. So we're like super exhausted, and somehow I like hurt my back, even though I haven't like done anything. It just like really started hurting. So we're on the floor. The floor, this is the vibe for this video. So let me attempt to sit up and update you on a couple of projects and the other plans for the next couple of days. See if I can do that much. All right. We're at least up right now. We'll see how long it lasts, because it does kind of hurt my back to sit like this. I don't even know what's going on at this point, but we're gonna ignore our ailments and our tiredness because it's Friday and at least I don't have to do anything this weekend. Like, there are no appointments, there are no things that are required of me, so that's good. But I've been working on the cider sweater. I'm almost done with the first like row of cabling. Nope, that's the seed stitch, moss stitch. There's the cable row. So I'm getting ready to do the second twist on the cables. However, at some point on the moss stitch row on the first repeat of it, I got a little bit off and I did like 3 knits stacked on top of each other instead of 2 and then switching to a purl. Okay, this is editing Courtney from the future. I don't know what's happening in this clip that you're watching right now, but there are these like random bumps and then like a humming noise. I have no idea what that is. I could not hear it when I was filming, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry about the audio, but yeah, I don't know what that was, but it keeps happening, and I'm sorry. I was just not very good at counting or paying attention or reading my knitting. On the second repeat, it's fine, but on the first one, it's not. But so I had to decide, do I switch back and put 1 purl in and then go back to knitting so it matches the second side, or do I just keep going and know that when I'm doing, like starting the first stitch of that section on a purl on the first side, it's starting on a knit on the second side. That seemed too hard for my brain, so I'm going to adjust it here. And obviously I'm not going to go back. It doesn't matter that much because it's at the very bottom of the sweater. If anyone is looking this closely at it to see that there are 3 knits and then 1 purl and then back to 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls, they're too close to me. I don't like people that close to me. You don't need to be inspecting my sweater, so I don't care. I'm just going to fix it moving forward. And I also wrote it so the chart for the cables is on a different page than the moss stitch chart. And like, I know how to do it, like knits, purls, but I think I just need it to be with the other chart so I know what the starting stitch is for the row of cables that I'm on, because I'm checking off the cable rows as I go. So I just wrote 2 little lines of the moss stitch. Lord. 2 little lines of that beside the cable chart so that if I put this down for a period of time and don't remember which one I'm on, I can't read my knitting again, then I can start properly and know where I am. So what I think I did is I was knitting this the other night and I could not, like, I stared at it too long and it stopped making sense altogether, and I couldn't decide if I had just done a start on a knit and then go or start on a purl and then go, and I just could not figure out which one I had just done. So I went all the way back and did the opposite of what I had done, and I think that was the wrong thing to do because now one side's off and the other side is not off, but we're fixing it and it's fine. So I've been working on this. The course that I'm doing, part of it is just kind of lecture based, and so I'm working on that while I'm listening to the lectures. And I worked on it a little bit, but didn't film anything the last couple of nights on the couch because, like, I had just been... So I am hoping to feel better after I rest some tonight. I don't really have to do anything after this course wraps up for the day. We're on our lunch break right now. So I'm probably just going to spend the afternoon on the couch knitting and watching a documentary on Discovery Plus because I really want to go snowshoeing tomorrow. We have not been snowshoeing this winter at all because in the part of Vermont we're in, we have not gotten enough snow, or it's been like really gross snow that turns slushy like the very next day, and that's not very good for snowshoeing. Like, you need the fresher, fluffier powder. So we haven't been able to go at all. We were supposed to get like 7 inches of snow on Wednesday night. No, we got like 2. My friends in the Northeast Kingdom got like 8. So I don't know where my snow is. I want snow, and I'm pretty irritated. But on top of the mountains near us, there is definitely snow because that's where the ski resorts are. And there's several trails around that area, so I think we're going to take our snowshoes and go up there and snowshoe a little bit this weekend. I'm just going to take some Motrin for my back and we're just going to go because I need to get my wintry snow outdoorsy fix in. So I'll probably take along the GoPro and get a little bit of footage on top of the mountain. We'll see what it looks like. Then I will probably mostly just work on knitting projects. I also want to finish the Brancusi mitts. I'm pretty close to being done with the hand part on the second one. Then I just need to do the thumb. So I might work on that this weekend, but I'm really not trying to do entirely too much. And I don't think I feel up to doing a lot of sewing, especially with my back as grumpy as it is. This morning before my class that I was taking, I just laid on the couch with the heating pad on it. So that helped some. So knitting is probably the only thing I'm going to do because I can do that laying down on the couch, lying on a heating pad. I have no idea what I did to my back. Like, I have not gone to the gym. I didn't pick up anything heavy. I didn't throw anything. I did not like pull anything. I didn't do yoga. It just like started hurting last night and got progressively worse overnight to the point where it was really painful this morning. So I laid on the heating pad for a while. But yeah, I have no idea what it's doing. So I don't know. It's just, is this what 40 is? Because I don't like it. We're not there yet. I have another year and a half. But yeah, I don't enjoy this. This is not awesome. So plan is lay on the couch the rest of the day, snowshoeing tomorrow, and then we'll see what happens on Sunday. I'm hoping that my back gets better. If it got mysteriously painful, it can mysteriously get better, right? Makes sense. Logic. But I'm gonna go have some lunch, then I'm gonna do my class, and I will see you in a little bit. So I was working on my Brancusi mitts, and you'll see right here that I start to do the cable and I cable in the wrong direction. Like I'm looking at it, I'm trying to figure out which way I should go. I think I've got it right, and then I definitely do it wrong and have to pick backwards. But at least I caught it like 2 or 3 stitches in. It's not as bad as the first mitt where I wasn't paying attention. See, yep, look, I noticed. I'm like, wait a minute. So I go back and fix it, but happens a couple times. I don't know what it is about the way that these cables go. I want them to go in the opposite direction, but at least I caught it and fixed it before we were a couple rows ahead, where obviously, if you've been watching this channel, you know that I'm not going to go back more than a couple stitches to fix something. So I did that cable repeat correctly, and I actually have done most of them correctly on this mitt. There's one right here that I twisted the wrong way, but other than that, they're all going the right direction, which is a vast improvement from the first mitt. So I grabbed the first mitt that I had done to compare where I'm at. I think I'm pretty much ready to start the finishing edge. And then on the thumb, what I was using to count is the number of those little cables. So the bottom one would be a full cable once I pick up the stitches for the thumb. So based on that, I've got 4 on each, and I can start the finishing edge. Thankfully, Saturday morning, I woke up and my back was completely better. The heating pad helped, the Motrin helped, and I felt totally fine. So we headed up the mountain to go snowshoeing. All right, so we are in the Green Mountain National Forest and getting ready to go snowshoe on a little bit of the long trail. I have my chai latte beanie on, and hopefully it keeps me warm enough. We're not gonna go too far, probably just about a mile or 2. Snowshoeing is a lot more taxing than walking or hiking. It really takes a lot of effort, so we'll see how tired we get, but let's go. Alright, we made it to the top. We lost the trail a little bit because the blazes are super hard to see, but we found it. We were following someone else's snowshoe tracks and they went off the trail for a second, but it's a really beautiful view up here, but it's also really windy, so we're gonna head back down. So you can't see, but all the way down there is where our Jeep is parked. So we're heading back down the mountain. I was super happy that I had packed myself a cup of coffee to have when we got back down off of the mountain. All right, so it's Sunday, and last night after we got back from snowshoeing, I sat on the couch and I finished up the Brancusi mitts. So I'm happy that they're done and they're off the needles because I looked in my Ravelry pages and they have actually been in progress since 2017, according to Ravelry, but I don't think that's right because the person who wrote the patterns is Nell from Nell Knits, and I actually worked with her when I was in grad school at a yarn store in Blacksburg, Virginia, outside of Virginia Tech, and I graduated in 2015 with my PhD, so I'm pretty sure I started these in 2015, not 2017, because I was not living in Virginia in 2017. So I think Ravelry's wrong. I think that's when I managed to remember to log them in my Ravelry. So I think these have been in progress for a lot of years. Ravelry says 5, but I think that's wrong. So I'm glad they're done. I like the color. I just don't know how much I'm really gonna wear fingerless mitts. Like I have a pair of gloves that are like if I go out in the morning and it's cold, cold steering wheel and everything, I have my like go-to pair of gloves and I tend to gravitate more towards gloves than mittens. We'll see. We'll see how much I end up wearing these, but happy that they're done. I do, however, have a lot of yarn left over. So I have pretty much, I should weigh it to know for sure, but I have like half the ball left and I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that. So I have to figure something out, or it might just go into the scrap yarn pile. But the yarn is abundant from Kismet Fibers, or Kismet Fiber Works, and I'm 90% sure that they are no longer in business. So it's not like I could get more of this if I wanted to like make a cowl or something and didn't have enough yarn. But I really do love this color. So I might weigh it to see if I could get a cowl or something out of it because it is a really nice color. It is also really close to the antique lace color from Madeline Tosh, which is what this is. So this is the Kismet, this is the Madeline Tosh. This has a little bit of a cooler tone, to me at least. This is a little bit warmer, so I can't mix them together, but they are super, super close. So I don't know. This looks a little more like, okay, now that I look at them like lower, when I put them down, like they're not, being backlit, this one maybe looks a little cooler. This one looks like more pink to me. This one looks a little more like yellow based. So maybe this one does look a little cooler and this one looks a little warmer. Either way, I like both of these because they're kind of that beigey, neutral, grayish color. So I don't know. I'll have to weigh it, guesstimate what yardage is left, and then see if I can find a pattern that I could make a cowl with. But I tend to like really big, thicker cowls. So I don't know. Maybe I could find on Ravelry someone who has some of this left, but I kind of doubt it. So it might be made into a cowl, or it might just get tossed into the scrap yarn pile and forgotten about. But the other thing that I've been working on is the Cider Sweater. So I mentioned yesterday, day before, whenever I updated you last, that I was fixing the issue that I had in the moss stitch portion, and that's mostly fixed. I do think that I actually went one row too far on the cable patterns before I like repeated the cable. So it's supposed to be 6 rows of pretty much straight knitting, then you do the cable repeat again on the 7th row. I think I did it on the 8th because I think I did like forget to check it off one time, but it's fine. As you well know, if you've been watching this channel, it's fine. It's fine. We're going with it. It's at the bottom of the sweater. And honestly, it looks okay to me. So like there's the section of the cable. I just did the repeats through there. I've not done a knit row over it yet, and I think it looks good. So hopefully it continues to have about that amount of space in between the cabling sections, and really 6 versus 7 rows of straight knitting I think is going to be fine. But I am being much more diligent about checking off each row on the chart as I am going so that I don't mess up where I am in either the moss stitch or the cables. Ooh, we almost lost a stitch. We almost had one come off the needles there. Panicked for a second. We're good. But I'm really going to spend the better part of February trying to get as far as I can on this sweater. Because, again, you're going to hear me say this like a billion times. I'm sorry. We're trying to finish this thing by the end of March so that I can meet my goal of 4 sweaters in a year. So we have to do one every 3 months. So January, February, March are this sweater. So I really need to be further along than I am. So this is kind of going to be mostly what this channel's content is for the next couple of weeks. So have fun. I don't know how people knit so many sweaters in a year. Like, do they have no other hobbies other than knitting? Maybe that's my problem, because right before I was filming this, I was watching an 1.5 hour long video for the Master Gardener certificate that I'm working on. So, and then I still have to read the chapter in the book and take the quiz, and then I have an in-person lecture for that on Thursday night. So like that's taking up a lot of my time. Yeah. Like, do people who knit a lot of sweaters just like that's their one hobby is knitting and they don't do the other things? Is that my problem? Is that I have ADHD and I have crafting ADHD and I have too many things? That's probably what it is, but I don't like that answer, so I'm just gonna try harder to get this sweater done and still do all of the other things. That doesn't sound self-destructive at all. It's fine. We're fine. It's fine. But hey, you know what? I am a cat mom millennial. I don't have kids. I don't have that aspect of my life that's like taking up a lot of time. So this is possible. This is reasonable. We're going with it. I've logicked that out for myself just now. But so the rest of this evening, I will probably throw in some footage of me working on the sweater on the couch after dinner and update you again tomorrow or Tuesday with my progress. So enjoy some B-roll. So in wrapping up this week's video, I thought I would update you on where I'm at with my progress on the cider sweater. And again, this channel is now just this sweater until the end of March. Not really, but kind of. So I am one full repeat into the cable chart, but the way the chart is written, it's got a cable row on row, I know it's on row 1, and then I think there's another one on row 7. So I've done 2 row 1s and 1 row 7, if that makes sense. So I can see how the honeycomb stitch is turning out, and I really, really like it. It's making me very happy because I can see that I've not messed up on that part of the cabling yet. Yeah, no, that's not a mistake. It's just hasn't been blocked, so it looks weird. Okay, we're good. We're good. But I really like that there's such short repeats between the cables because it helps me, A, stay on track, and I'm doing better at checking off which row I'm on, but seeing the pattern also just kind of motivates me a little bit more. And then I am switching between continental and English. So I'm doing English when I'm doing the cable row because I need to watch a YouTube video on how to cable using a cable needle continental. Like, I tried and that was just too much picking things up, putting things down, rewrapping the yarn, fiddling. So I'm just doing that row in English, and then when I get frustrated with how long continental is taking me, I will switch back to English. So you can kind of see, like you can definitely see in this row in the rib stitch at the bottom how much looser that is. And there are a couple places here where you can see that I was definitely doing continental. It's a lot looser there. I did try to tighten up my continental gauge a little bit, but it doesn't bother me. And I know that goes against the conventional knitting wisdom that you should do a garment in all only continental or all only English. Maybe I should have started with a hat to try to perfect my continental knitting, but I don't care. If you have been following this channel, you know that we don't do perfectionism in our crafting. I won't ever be a test knitter. That would do a disservice to anyone who's writing patterns. I won't ever be a pattern writer because this is my leisure time, it's my downtime, it's my hobby. I have too much in my day job that needs to have that attention to detail and be very thorough and perfectionist. And I just don't have the energy to do that in my crafting life. So if you need permission to reject the conventional knitting wisdom and go against the grain and just do good enough, this is your permission slip. That's what we are about on this channel, is just doing what makes you happy. And what makes me happy is finishing this sweater. It might not be perfect, and like with 2 other sweaters that I've made, when I didn't swatch, like I'm doing this time, they didn't fit. So yeah, maybe that's upsetting and sad to some people, but I have a friend who's also a knitter and who is smaller than me, who now has 2 lovely hand-knit sweaters that I have gifted her. So it works out. I give away a lot of the quilts and knits that I make, so it doesn't bother me when things don't turn out like I wanted them to. Like, I really want this to fit me. I love the yarn. I love the pattern. I want to wear this sweater. And if it really isn't fitting, this is when I might rip back. But it just wasn't worth it to me to do the swatch. We're figuring out the sizing as we go. And same thing with the English and Continental. I'm switching back and forth. Yeah, it might make the stitches look a little odd in places and twisted the wrong way, but it doesn't bother me. This is a handmade, not professionally made garment. So I'm just going with it. It's making me happy. Doesn't bother me at all to have those little imperfections in there. To me, that's what makes it handmade. So again, this is your permission slip. So do what makes you happy. That's what we do here on this channel. I hope that you're enjoying that. I hope that you enjoyed the clips of my life in Vermont, the snowshoeing. Cross your fingers that I get more snow this winter because I really want to get out there and do some more snowshoeing and maybe some cross-country skiing. But I hope you're having a wonderful week. I hope your projects are going well. I hope you're enjoying the experience of creating whatever it is that you create. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already so you can follow along and see how the cider sweater comes along. But I will catch you in the next one.